We good? Yep. Fuck that shit, it's too far away. What is up, guys, and welcome back to our Boston Bruins franchise mode series. As the logos there take a second to load, fix your shit, EA. We have simmed up to the trade deadline. We are 4 points back from the Lightning, 9 points ahead of the Leafs, who are 4th in the division but do not hold a wild card spot. So if we stay ahead of the Leafs and the Habs, we are good to go. One thing I want to check really quick is the All-Stars. See if we got a guy that made the All-Star game. Tarasenko, Stamkos, Ben, Tavares, Crosby, Sagan, Falk, Doughty, Kane, McDavid, Carlson, Ekman Larson, Nick Patan, Giroux, Ovechkin, Hall, Hannafin, Pietrangelo, Vasilevsky, Gaudreau, Barry, Klingberg, Muzzin, Okposo. Alright, so, okay, I guess we don't. It'd be nice to actually put one up from every team, or actually put all 30, or actually it'd be cool if you could go in and look at the All-Star rosters. I think that was on an old NHL game, and they took that feature out, so whatever. So I went through and looked at all the teams and what they were offering at the trade deadline. Only one team had players that I was even mildly interested in, and that was the Anaheim Ducks. They, on the trading block, have Getzlaf, Perry, and Ryan Kessler. No thank you. And Kessler, at least, he's an 82 overall. Really small trade value, but I don't really like anything that he offers. He's definitely not an upgrade over Martin Hanzal. If anything, he'd be like a 4th line winger. I could put him in there instead of Roussel, but that just feels like I'd be wasting assets to get him. Like a lateral move, not really worth it. Perry, though, is probably the guy I'm most keen on. Perry is an 85 overall. I think all these guys are like 35 or 36, and at the end of their contracts, so it would be strictly a rental pretty much. Perry's a this is interesting. Elias Lindholm, bring him back to Boston. Let's see what he looks like nowadays. 86 overall. Yeah, we don't really have a spot for you, especially not for a first round pick. I did not see him when I went through. That's weird. But Corey Perry would be an 85 overall winger, probably a 3rd line winger. And the only thing about getting him, though, is that would require us to do something with DeBrusk and move him somewhere. Maybe the 4th line. Not really a 4th line guy, though. And then Getzlaf, I'll go ahead and sim up to this game right here against the Panthers. Getzlaf is an 88 overall center, and if we got him, we would put him on the 2nd line and move down Winberg to the 3rd. And then, I don't know, same situation there. We'd move Pavelski over to right wing and then do something with DeBrusk, or put Pavelski on the 4th line. Not sure. But we're winning games right now. I say that as we lose a game. Yeah, that's classic. We're winning games. We're 36, 20, and 5. Let's take a look at where we are in the standings before we make a decision on the trade deadline. Okay, so we're 2 points back of the Lightning, and we are 13 points ahead of the 4th place team in the division. And the Canadiens are nowhere to be seen, so we can make the playoffs, boys. The Canadiens are not standing in our way this season. They are way down there with 60. Okay, so we're quite a bit ahead of them. Looking at our team, though, with a 3.1 goals for, I don't really see any need to try to trade for somebody that can score more. 2.33 goals against is pretty good as well. 22% power play, that's good. 82% penalty kill, that's fine. And then there's the rest of the team stats. So, I mean, if we were going to trade for a guy, I don't really know. I think it would hurt our lineup, at least long term, more than it would help, just due to what would happen to DeBrusk. So, looking at our player stats, Pastrnak with 60, plus 22. Nicky with 52, plus 18. Fiala 45, plus 15. Julius Honka, tied for 3rd on our team in scoring, 45 points, plus 31. That's the 2nd highest plus, behind Vlasic down there at the bottom of the list. Marchand 45, Hosang and Bergeron 44, Winberg 42, and so our top 6 up there, plus Fiala. Yeah, so Pasternak and Nicky, I believe they're both on our first line at this point. Can't quite remember. And then Fiala and Marchand Hosang on the second line. And then Bergeron on the first, Lindbergh on the second. So all of our top 6 are 40-plus point scorers, and we got a guy on the third line with 45 points. And then the rest of the third line's 33 and 26. And the fourth line's 18, 15, 15, and those guys are about even plus minuses, so I'm not too concerned there. The only really concern I have so far is Mirko Mueller, because he's not really getting enough ice time. His morale is about even. Like, he's not super happy. He's losing a lot of morale for ice time, and I don't know why he's listed as a top 4. And the thing about, like, I don't want to move him up in the lineup because that would require us to move Carlo down. And if you look at his stats, I mean, I guess we could throw him in the penalty kill, but he's definitely not good enough to be thrown on the power play. So I might try to get him a little bit of penalty kill time. But, and the thing about Corey Perry is he's really cheap. We could probably get him for like a second, but I just don't have anywhere to put him. I might do it anyways, just for the sake of I'm all in this season, and we really need to win. But it might have a negative effect on our lineup, I don't know. And if I did it and DeBrusk ended up being moved down in the lineup, I'd have to figure out how to get him a little bit more ice time elsewhere. I don't know if there's a spot to do that. So I'm just going to go through our roles really quick. And then, so our top 6 is fine where they are. All the second line are second line listed. And then the first line, they're all second line except for Nicky, he's first line. So they're all really good. The third line, though, Fiala is the second. Those guys are thirds. And then Hansel. So the only guys that need attention right now are Hansel and Fiala. Fiala's getting a lot of power play time and performing pretty well, and Hansel's getting a lot of penalty kill time. And if we had to throw DeBrusk, if we had to throw DeBrusk on the power play, I don't know where I put him. I mean, I guess like if I got Getzlaf, I could put him here, put Winberg here, and then put Pavelski on the fourth line because he's getting power play time. I might do that, but that might hurt this third line scoring. I mean, Fiala's scoring on the power play quite a bit, and Winberg's putting up a lot of points, but he's like a -3. So that second line, they're not doing too well in the plus-minus statistic. So they could use a change, I guess. I'll see what I can get Getzlaf for. I'll see. And then Mueller here. Let's get him some penalty kill time or something. The question is, who do I put him in for? Because all the guys we have in are 4 stars, or 5 stars, I mean. And I don't want to put DeBrusk, or I don't want to Carlo. I don't want to sit Carlo. And then Brodin's just a lot better. I guess I could sit Honka. I might do that. But at the same time, if our penalty kill starts regressing a little bit, just easily go back in there and redo those changes. And the thing about putting Honka down is maybe if he's killing less penalties, he will have more energy and more ice time, even strength to get points, and to increase that plus-minus a little bit. So I'm going to take a look at what it would take to trade for Ryan Getzlaf from the Ducks, if they still have him. He has not been traded, and he's not been traded. So there's Getzlaf. I'll go to just Scares Matching Block. So they got Getzlaf here, and this is what his stats look like. Pretty good. Low 90s, high 80s, pretty much around the board. 4.5-star defense, pretty good. 89 faceoffs, 5-star physical, 4-star skating. This is Corey Perry. He's more of a sniper. His passing is not even in the 80s, but 5-star shot, 88 offensive awareness. 3.5-star defense, so not the best there. I feel like with his role being third scoring line forward, that pretty much nails it. 4.5-star physical, though. And then here's Kessler. I'm really not considering him. If anything, he could be like a fourth line, replace Roussel. And for his trade value, that might not be the most bad, or that might not be the worst options I was trying to say. But he does have another year on his contract, so if he didn't retire, we would be taking on $7 million for a fourth liner. That is not worth the risk. Getzlaf has 48 points this season, plus 11. And then Perry has 33 assists. I think that's 52 points and a +6. 40 PIMs though, so that's not great with the 69 discipline. But if we try to acquire Getzlaf, let's just take a look at this. See what it would take to get him. He is on the last year of his deal, so definitely a rental option. And looking at this, at the players they want back, Lundmark, our first round pick last season. I'm not completely sold on his ability to eventually even crack the lineup. I mean, he does have a medium top 6 potential, but he's still 60 overall. And nothing really in his stats are that spectacular just yet. So it's not like when he grows to an 80, he's going to be really good at one facet of the game. He's probably going to be a decent all-around player, but we could easily throw him on there. DJ Jerome, as much as I like his name, he's 21 already, still only a 70 overall. High AHL, top 6, but none of his stats look great yet. He's got decent passing and decent defensive stats, but I could easily part ways with him. And the rest of those guys are garbage. Holy shit. So many garbage players that I could end up throwing into this deal just to even up the trade value. Goalies they want our backup, no thank you. And then in terms of draft picks, they just want the some seconds from this year. Take the Nashville second. DJ Jerome and Nashville second for Getzlaf might go through. But like, I don't know. Sometimes if you make a trade like this, it just hurts your team for some reason. And then sometimes you make a trade like this, it just takes you to another level. And I don't really know which side of the coin this is going to be on. So if we did this, is that possible? I'd rather go Jerome and Nashville's pick. Because those second round picks, I don't really see a big. Oh my lord! I don't really see that big of a difference between like a late second and early second, early to mid second. So I'm not sure if this will even go through as is, just because it looks like it's a little bit towards Anaheim, but we'll try it. Nope. The value is just a bit low. So what we're going to do, we are going to change that to our pick and then see what we have down here. Unsigned. We really don't have anything that's unsigned that they might want. Or that they do want, I should say. But, oh man. We have a bunch of players with no trade value in the AHL. That's not ideal. Looking at this list, though, the guy we could look to trade might be, Can I trade away Zach Hyman? He's not really doing anything for us. He's chilling in the AHL. Okay, I cannot trade a skater. As long as I'm trading DJ Jerome. Of course, if I change that to Lundmark, I could trade a skater. But what we're going to do, just throw a couple of these guys in there. Because why not? We like DJ Jerome if you want to take another crack at it. So we'll throw in, I don't know. I feel like whatever we throw in, they're just going to say that they, too many players making the same, filling the same need, the trade block need. Yeah. So we're going to make this, we're going to try Lundmark and our second. See if that'll go through. It looks like it might, but probably not. Yeah, the value's just a bit low. So we're gonna change that back to DJ Jerome, and then we're gonna throw in some later round picks. Because at least Lundmark has the higher potential. It's got a longer timeline, but I don't think DJ Jerome's gonna be a game changer for us ever. So let's see what'll get this deal done. Sweeten the value just a touch. Okay, we'll change this to a 6th then, instead of a 7th. All right, so welcome to the team, Ryan Getzlaf. I've been pretty wishy-washy ever since I saw him on the trade block. I mean, you guys heard me say, no, we don't need to make any moves. We're fine. And then you guys heard me say, well, I mean, we could make a move, and this is what would happen. Blah 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 blah. So I made the move, whatever. And then we're gonna send We don't want to lose JFK to waivers because he is waiver eligible. But I wouldn't care if we lost Roussel. These moves will result in your team being over the NHL salary cap. Excuse me? So I might just leave him scratched. Is he on a 1-year deal? Yes, he is. So we can just leave Roussel scratched. I don't need to send him down because no big deal. But we will have to edit the... Oh shit. Why is our roster not compliant? I don't know. I don't know. What do we have to do? Can we send Hyman up? Will that... No. I don't know what the problem is. This might suck. I might lose somebody here. Do you have any defensemen that are two-way that we could just... No, we don't have anybody on our roster that's two-way. That's pretty annoying. Oh, shit, man. Shit, we might be in a sticky situation here. Okay, I don't know what the problem is. Let's just see if it's like, nope, that wouldn't work. Would this work? No. I'm obviously not gonna send Marchand down to waivers. I'm just trying to see what the problem is. It's like anything we do, we're over the cap. And I feel like if I do auto fix roster, then EA is gonna completely fuck me over here. But I can't go and make any trades to fix the roster. Like, I mean, why would it let me go? Why would it let me do the trade if I wasn't if it wasn't legal, you know? I don't know what the problem is. I don't know how to fix it. EA, man, fix your shit. Like, at least let me know what I can do to fix this fucking problem. I really don't know. Sorry for this shit, boys. I just don't know what's going on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to make a jump cut here, and I'm gonna figure out this problem, and then I will bring it back. So I'll be right back, guys, once I figure out what this problem is. Alright, boys, we're back, and I just did the auto fix roster. I just said YOLO, and if it fucked my team up, I would just start this episode over and go back to my save. And all it did was send Roussel down to the AHL. So apparently I can't do that on my own. The game has to do it for me, but it just did the same thing. So as far as I can tell, it's the only thing that happened. So now that Getzlaf's on our team, these are what our forward lines look like. I'm pretty much all in this season, boys. We got Nicky, Bergeron, and Pastrnak as our top line. If you want a little more offensive firepower, we can just switch out Getzlaf and Bergeron. Second line of Marchand, Getzlaf, Hosang. Third line, so Getzlaf slots in right there, the second line center. Fiala, Winberg, DeBrusk. So Winberg just moves down here to the third line. And then JFK, Hansel, and Pavelski. So Pavelski's down on the fourth line, but we're giving him time elsewhere, so he should not be too upset with his new fourth line role. He should be all in for winning a cup. And so that's what our roster looks like. That's what our team looks like now. Pretty insane top six, all 89s and all 85s. And then an 86 and an 85 on the third line is pretty damn good. And then an average of an 83 on the fourth line is pretty damn good as well. So I feel like this is as good as the team is going to get. I mean, I could trade for Corey Perry and put him here, but that would be a little bit of overkill, and I'm not going to do that. So yeah, and it did best lines when it did the auto fix roster, so I had to go in and change some things back up. But these stayed the same, and then here's what our penalty kill or our power play looks like. So we got Getzlaf in the first unit. We're keeping Fiala up there, giving him some good power play time since he's a second line role on the third line. Same thing with Winberg here. So those guys are getting more ice time, and Getzlaf as a first line guy playing on the second line, he is getting that extra time as well. And then I think I have Pavel. Yeah, okay, so there's Pavelski. Okay, so here's our four-man power play. You guys can pause and look at that if you want. Penalty kill, I got Hansel and Pavelski as our top penalty killing duo for the forwards. They are both third line roles playing on the fourth line, so here is their extra ice time. And then surprisingly enough, Josh Hosang, 4.5-star defense. Pretty unrealistic, but it is a video game, so he is with Bergeron on the second unit. Pretty damn good second unit there. And the 3-man PK, that's what that looks like. And Mueller, being a top 4 role defenseman, I'm giving him the second line power play time, or penalty kill time, to fix his oh man, to get him enough ice time to where he's not unhappy. So that's what all this looks like. I'm just breezing through it. Goaltending is the same, and then with Roussel in the AHL, this is what I did. Still got Heinz, giving him as much ice time as possible. I still have a little bit of hope for him, especially given some of his offensive stats. Kept Hyman up there on the first line. Give Heinz a really good option to play with. And that's the rest of that, and then there's the defense. No changes there. There's the goaltending. All right. So let's finish this season, boys. Hopefully, this move really turned out for us, and let's see if we can finish strong. I'm actually gonna write down a few players' point totals just to see how they do over the course of the rest of the season. So Getzlaf is at 48. I'm sorry if you hear the paper crumpling or whatever. He is playing with Marchand, I believe. Yeah, Nicky's on the first unit. So Marchand has 45. And then he's playing with Hosang, who has 44. Okay. Take note of those guys. And then their plus minuses. Okay, they're Marchand and Hosang around 5. I'll remember that. And then we moved Winberg down. He's at 42. I'm also going to keep track of Fiala, who has a new line 45, or new line mates, at least. I believe those are the guys going to be majorly impacted by that move. So let's see how that affects them. Okay. Moving along. Sorry for that, boys. I just wanted to keep track just so I can, in a couple months' time, compare and see how colossal of a fuck-up that was. But Ryan Getzlaf, the newest Boston Bruin. That's the moral of the story here. Let's go ahead about a month and see how we do. So, I didn't feel like it was the most necessary move. Like, we didn't need to make that move to make the playoffs. We didn't need to make that move to be Stanley Cup competitors. But I feel like it... So many fucking pop-ups. Oh my lord. No. But I feel like that move could really put us over the top. He's lost morale because of recent individual performance, right? We've won 4 straight since we got him, so that's good. And once again, the Canadians will not be standing in our way, most likely this playoffs, so we should have an easy time. Each season we made the playoffs in this Boston Bruins franchise mode series, we have lost to the Canadians. So it'd be nice to not see them there in the playoffs this season. It'd be cool to see us staying competitive and they're just dropping off. Despite them, beating our ass. Who is still there? That's right, we are. So we might actually be contending for a President's Trophy here, although probably not. We have 88 plus 6, 94 points, still probably about 12 games left. There's a chance. Certainly would not put it out of the realm of possibility, as we are here. Okay, so since we acquired Getzlaf, we beat the Panthers, so that's 4 wins there. So 4-0-1. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more wins. So 9. And then we lost 2 in regulation. So we're 9-2-1 since picking up Getzlaf. Seems to be a pretty good trade thus far. We have 9 games to go. Where do we stand with 9 games left? We're leading the division by 6 points. So we jumped over the Lightning by quite a margin. 15 points ahead of the wild card spot and 4th in the division. So we've pretty much wrapped up a playoff spot, and we are currently 23 points ahead of the Montreal Canadiens. I think their season is probably over, boys. And that's really all we care about, Just fuck the Habs at this point. Pretty much scarred for life, or at least scarred for this series in terms of the Canadiens. They're like all I talk about. But we will be advancing farther than them this season for the first time in this series. And that is cause enough for a celebration right there. That is good enough for me. So another win and loss, another win against the Jets. With 6 games left, let's see where we are in terms of the President's Trophy. So we've reached triple digits, boys, and the Canadians are not even in the top 6 in the division. We've clinched a playoff spot, so fan-fucking-tastic there. With 6 games left, I believe. Yep, 6 games left. Where do we stand? Okay, we're not going to win the President's Trophy. Not this season, at least, because the Carolina Hurricanes are fucking world beaters. With a 1.4, with plus 1.4 goal differential per game. We are at about 0.8. So 3-1-3, 2-3-4 goals against, 24% power play. Since we picked up Getzlaf, that's been going up. Penalty kill 82.4. So since we put Mueller on the PK, it's been about the same. So I'm fine seeing that. 7-3 in our last 10. That could be a little bit better, but at the same time, I'm happy with our moves. And Pastrnak has scored 14 points in his last 15 games, I believe, since the trade deadline, since we made the trades. So let's go ahead, these 4 games. I mean, we're technically not eliminated from President's Trophy contention, but we'd have to win all 5 of these games, and the Hurricanes have to lose pretty much all their games in regulation. 7-3 victory, a 3-1 win. Both of those on the road. That's good. Another road win in the division. That's good to see. So we're at 106 points. How are we going to finish the season? With a shutout loss, and then at Tampa, who we might see in the second round of the playoffs based on how good they are. So the last 2 games of the season, shutout both times. That's good. That's great. That's what we want. Jesus Christ. All right, so first round matchup against the New York Rangers. All right, so we won the division. Second in the conference, I believe. Maybe not, but a really good season for us. And we are back to the promised land, being the Stanley Cup playoffs. Won the division by 1 point, beat the Canadians by 25 points. That's good. Our final team stats: 3.1 goals for, 233 goals against, 23% power play, 83% penalty kill. 6-4 in our last 10, so we're not the hottest team coming into the playoffs, but that's okay. Let's take a look at our player stats. Pastrnak led the way with 75 points. Nicky with 72. Honka with 65. All right. So Julius Honka was our 3rd best scorer. I did not expect that when I traded for him. I expected just a good all-around defenseman, a good top 2 guy we could pair with Vlasic, and they could be a good shutdown pair, and maybe Honka could throw in 30 or 40 points, but he gave us 65. So that's probably the best trade we made this go-around. So Getzlaf finished with 57 points. So he only got 9 points those last 20-something games, but we played really well. He's plus 13. That's about what he was. I believe that's Marchand, 45 points. So he had 14 points those last 20-something games. So it looks like he played a little bit better with Getzlaf. Plus 8. I believe he was like a plus 6, so that went up. Hosang had 44, and he finished with 56, so he got 12 points. Not bad. Plus 3, that's about where he was. Wenberg had 42. Now he has 58, so he had 16 points. So maybe putting him on the 3rd line was a good move for him, as he outscored the 2nd line the rest of the way. Fiala had 45, and he now has 58, so he had 13 points. So I feel like I didn't hurt our lines too much, and their pluses are all still really good. No one's really killing us there. So our final stats, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys with 50 plus points, and 2 70 plus point guys, and Honka with 65. I don't know if you could count Getzlaf as being a 50-point guy for us because he wasn't on our whole team, but if we didn't trade for him and make those moves, Pavelski probably would have finished with 50 plus. So we'll just say we have 9. And there's the rest of the team down there. Our 4th line ended up Hansel 27, JFK 17, Roussel 15, plus a little bit of Pavelski at the end of the season. So looking at our plus minus category, Vlasic with 43. That is fantastic. That's kind of what I expected when I signed him. Was him to be a really good shutdown defenseman that would just have an insane plus minus. Honka 34. There's our top line with 20 plus. DeBrusk at 22. That's really good. Pavelski 19. Verdine 19. You guys can see the rest. The only odd thing here, I would say, was the second line of Marchand and Hosang being single-digit guys, and then Winberg being a minus. Don't really understand why he's a minus, but whatever. We're fine. Looking at Tuukka Rask's stats. 225 GAA, that's really good. 925 saves, also really good. Bernier not too far behind him in terms of his stats. He only saw 18 games though. Be nice for him to have seen him see some more games. JFK in his first season, 17 points. We don't have any rookie goalies, so let's take a look around the league really quickly, as I can't figure out which way to go. Entire league, there we go. All right, oh my lord. John Tavares, 109 points. Steven Stamkos, 107 points. So if we do end up seeing the Lightning in the second round, Stamkos is going to be a huge factor in that series. Dalcall with 95, thanks to playing with Tavares. Jamie Benn, 92. Sagan, 90. That's a really good pair right there. Bjorkstrand for the Sharks, 87. Are you serious? We gifted the Sharks an 86 or an 87-point score. Whatever, man. He wasn't gonna get it done for us, so I guess you could say it's good to see him getting it done for somebody else. And at least we traded him to a Western Conference team, so if we do end up playing him, it'll be for the Stanley Cup, which it's unlikely that we would see that matchup. Tarasenko 87, Taylor Hall 84, Justin Falk 84. So there goes Honka's chances of winning the Norris, as Justin Falk was at plus 55. Oh my lord. Panarin for the Coyotes 88, Giroux 83, Giroux 83. I was reading their overalls. Drouin 82, Kucherov 82. A couple of point a game guys there for the Lightning. Kane 82, McDavid 82, and that rounds out the point a game players. I looked at the thought, or I fathomed, or considered the thought of trading for Alex Ovechkin, but that wouldn't really make a lot of sense for us, so I decided against that. Give him one last hurrah. The Capitals weren't too good, but oddly enough, they weren't trying to trade him away. So where's our top guy? Pasternak's right there with 75. So that is that, and John Tavares will be winning the Art Ross. So a nightmare scenario for us, I guess, would be to face Stamkos in the second round, and then the Islanders in the conference finals led by John Tavares, or even the Hurricanes in the conference finals led by Justin Falk with 84 points in this season. He's just got insane stats. Pretty much about the same stats that Erik Karlsson has, right? Or Erik Karlsson has in the beginning if you start a new franchise mode. So that's that. Did he lead the league in plus minus? Yes, he did. Paired with Noah Hannafin, 66 points plus 54. Holy shit. Vlasic was fourth. And yeah, looks like Leddy and Marchenko got the pleasure of playing with Tavares for most of their ice time. Honka is right there. Okay, so that's the plus minus. Let's take a look at the goal scoring, and that's going to be Steven Stamkos. Stamkos 1, Tavares 2, Tarasenko, and then Corey Perry. But the thing about him is he regressed down to an 83 by the end of the year. All right, look at his defense is 3 stars, so I'm kind of glad we didn't trade for him. Although he did put up a 45 goal season. Looks like Marchand led the way for us with 36. Only 23 assists though, so that's kind of low for him. But that's okay. And then looking at defensemen. Let's see, we got Falk, Klingberg, Hannafin, and then Honka tied for 4th with Subban. There's the rest of the list. Alright, you guys can see that. Is that Ghost Despair on the Islanders? No. Okay, he's still in Philadelphia. I thought I saw Islanders there for a second. I was about to say Yossi's on the Lightning, so that just makes the Lightning even scarier prospect of playing them in the second round. with a top line of Stamkos, Kucherov, and Palat, all point-a-game guys. And then they got Yossi on the back end. That's just, don't want to think about that until we have to. Looks like Ben Bishop will win the Vezina with a 214 GAA and a 924 save. Not the best save, as there's a couple guys down here. Anderson and Soderstrom had better save percentages, but better GAA, more wins, less games, that kind of thing. Rask, pretty good season for him. He's in the conversation, probably top 5 goaltender this season, but not quite getting it done. And the thing I don't understand about goalies in this game is you look at a guy like Rask, 89 overall, a veteran, really good attributes, and then he gets outperformed by Linus Soderstrom, an 85 overall, who won the Vezina as a rookie last season. No. He won the Calder last season with these stats, yeah, a rookie. I think he was like an 83 that year. Whatever, man. I don't get the goaltending in this game. I guess it might be the Islanders' defense, but I don't know what their defense looks like, so I can't really say. And then Ben Bishop, such good stats because he was on the Hurricanes. See who's going to win the Calder. Will it be a creative player, or will it be a guy that's taking his time to progress? It will be Graham Hardigan. What the hell, man? At one point I looked at trading for him just because I thought he had really good stats. I guess I was right. And then Antoine Morand, Christian Vesalainen cracked the NHL this season. Daniel Udette is 76 overall. How? I don't get this game. Look, his stats are still in the high 70s, but he's 41 points. I just don't get it. Is he like playing on the first line? Nico Hischier made his debut. 29 points for him. Audette was on the Habs, so I guess their lineup was really bad. I'm going to take a look at their lineup really quick. I'm sorry this is a real long video, boys. It is late at night. I'm tired. And I guess when I'm tired, my mind strays a little bit, and I go look at other things. I do have quite a bit of time to cut out from figuring out that damn roster thing. So maybe it's not as long as I expect it. Of course, you guys will know how long it is right now. Yeah. Let's go to the Canadians. Where are they at? Montreal. There they are. Montreal Canadiens. So Radulov led their team, 73. Galchenyuk, Pacioretty, Gallagher, Sherbach, Udette, Shattenkirk, Weber, Yarncroke, Hischier. So it looks like they have a few 70 overalls, or sub 80 overalls in their lineup. Motto, McCarron, Shaw, Vedemo. My lord. It's like their entire bottom 6 is like sub 80 guys, and then Valeri Mikhnov as a 75. Holy shit! So they just couldn't field some depth this year. That's unfortunate because they're wasting the last years of Carey Price by being a cellar dweller of a team. Actually, I want to look at the Carolina Hurricanes really quick because we might be seeing more of them later. So here's their team. They're led by Justin Falk, obviously. Teravainen, Simmons, Rasmussen, Tyler Johnson, who he used to have, and then Gauthier, Brickley. So it looks like their top 6 are all 50-plus point guys. Their third line's 40-plus point guys. And then Jordan Staal in their fourth line, maybe? Or is he just not that good of a point guy? I don't know. And then Frankie Vetrano there. Okay. Remy Ellie. Defensively, their bottom 4 is Slavin, 47 points this year. Pesci, Jacobs, and McEwen. So those guys aren't too scary, but Slavin there as a middle pairing guy is pretty scary and a really good top 6. So if we play them, probably be a really, really tough series for us with Ben Bishop in net. Yeah. So that's it for this video, boys. If you enjoyed it, leave a like and subscribe down below so you can be notified as to when the next installment of this series goes up, as well as other series. Tune in next time to see how we do against the New York Rangers, and hopefully we can actually make it to the Stanley Cup Finals and win the Stanley Cup this season. as it is we're probably getting to the end of our reign right now. We're gonna need a retool in the next couple seasons, so this might be one last chance for us to win the cup for Bergeron, for Marchand, for Getzlaff, for Pavelski, for Hansel, for Rask, for Vlasic. A lot of top guys on our team will be regressing and retiring soon, so let's see if we can get this done for them. And I'll see you guys next time.